Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today we are doing an awesome review. We have the very first Animation Chronicle 2022 reveals. This is really cool. We have an archetype that I've been waiting for a little bit. Not the archetype I've been waiting for, but an archetype from Link Variants being imported over, at least to the OCG. Most of the time when we get Animation Chronicle stuff for the OCG, we end up getting it in like Battles of the Legend later on in the year, so that would be my guess there. So I don't think this will end up in like Ghost from the Past. We'll probably get something else there. I have no idea what will end up in there, but hopefully it's cool regardless. But yeah, let's get into it. We have a couple of really interesting cards. So starting off here, we have Royal Straight Slasher. Yeah, we have a bunch of cards to go through. All right, here we go. Warrior, special summon effect, light, level 6, 24, 1350 defense. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned with Royal Straight. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name, each once per turn. First effect is, if you have all of Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight, and King's Knight in your graveyard, you can send one monster of each level between 1 and 5 from your hand and or deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy all cards your opponent controls. Interesting. Yeah, fine, I guess. It's a slow board wipe, but, you know, you do have to send a level 2, 3, and 4. Really weird. You have to have a level 2, 3, or 4 in your deck to resolve this effect. Really weird effect, but okay. Theoretically, if you're even getting him out, you should have all 3 of the knights in grave anyway. And when this card is destroyed by battle, you can target up to 3 light warrior monsters in your graveyard, special summon them. I don't think that's that great. In most scenarios, your opponent's not letting you get this destroyed by battle. It doesn't have a summon effect itself, so it is just a straight up horrible brick to draw, and its effect isn't even that impactful on the field. Pretty much a dud for me, in my opinion. Moving on from there, Royal Straight, the card that was listed above and how this guy needs to be summoned. It's a quick play spell. You can only, send one each of Queen's Knight, Jack's Knight, and King's Knight from your hand and or field to the graveyard. Then special summon one monster from your hand, deck, or extra deck, or graveyard that mentions all 3 of those monsters in its text. This card's god-awful as well. I mean, just thinking about it this way, you have to use this card, which is 1, and then you have to send all 3 of these from either your hand or field to the graveyard. You have to give up 4 resources to summon 1 monster. Awful. Awful. And I don't even think this deck has a great win condition as far as monsters that list these, all 3 of them in the text. Like, seriously. Just rough. Just rough. Alright, moving on. That's all for the face card support. Pretty dudley. Dynabase, or Dino Base for Earth Machine. Earth Machine! It's a level 4, 0 attack, 2100 defense. 2 hard ones return effects. The first one reads, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon this card from your hand. Not the craziest effect in the world, but theoretically, if you have a deck that, like, you have a starter that says pay life points to do something, you know, special summon, then that makes this card an extender. Not bad. Second effect, during your main phase, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as material, including this card on the field. Not terrible. I mean, I don't know what generic fusion targets would be available for that. We're going to look at one in a sec, but that's interesting, the fact that he kind of keeps you from having to use a fusion spell. Not a terrible card if it was like built around right. Next up here we have Dyna Tank, an Earth Machine fusion monster, level 7, question mark attack, 2100 defense. Takes a machine and a dinosaur. That could be a super poly target. I don't know what deck's going to be playing machines and dinosaurs, but that's generic. You can only use the second and third effects of this card once per turn. This card gains attack equal to the original attack of the dinosaur monster used for its fusion summon. Okay. And when a card or effect is activated that targets this card and no other cards, quick effect, target one other card on the field that is an appropriate target. That card or effect now targets the new target. Meh. And if this card is destroyed by your opponent, you can special summon one dinosaur monster from your graveyard. That's the best effect here, that if it's destroyed by the opponent, it floats. But other than that, nothing else on this card is like really that great to me. Now we move to the really exciting part of the Animation Chronicle reveals here, and to me, that's absolutely the G Golems. This is probably the second archetype behind the Armatos Legio archetype that I've been excited for getting imported. So here we go. It's an Earth-based Cybers deck. This is G Golem Rock Hammer, a Cybers effect monster. So it's rocks or Earth Cybers. Level 6, 1800 attack, 2400 defense, 2 hard ones per turn effects. If this card is in your hand, you can discard one other Cyberus monster. Decrease this card's level by 2 until the end of this turn. That's honestly not terrible. What it does is he's 6, so he becomes level 4, and you can actually just normal summon him. Then on the field, he can tribute himself to special summon 3 G-Golem tokens. They're level 1, 0, 0, Cyberus Earth. In defense position, also you cannot summon for the rest of the turn except for Cyberus monsters. Cool. This guy's a pretty decent card. I mean, I also imagine, like, what if you send something that's a pretty good card to be reborning off of Splash Mage, potentially. So you send a monster that's good to be reborn off of Splash Mage, normal summon this guy, tribute himself for 3 tokens, 2 of those tokens go into Splash Mage, revive the monster you sent, and then when you link again into something like Transcode Talker, which is again Earth, which has good synergy with this deck, you're going to get another search off of the monster you used for that link summon, and now you have transcode plus another link or another token on the field to get really solid value. So this card's actually not terrible to me. Next up here we have G-Golem Pebble Dog. This is your actual normal summon for the deck. He's Cyberus effect, level 2, 300, 1000, 2 hard ones per turn effects. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can take one G-Golem Pebble Dog from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon it. Also, you're locked into Cyber special summons for the rest of the turn. If this card is sent from the hand to the graveyard, you can add a G-Golem card from deck to hand. I actually quite like this card. I love that you can either add it or summon it. So it's either just an immediate extender or it's like value in the hand. So you can like pitch it off of Rockhammer or something and then use... because then when you pitch it off of Rockhammer, he then gets the effect to search another G-Golem card. So if you open... Well, I guess you'd have to normal summon the Rockhammer there. Or ideally, you'd be normal summoning Rockhammer, which isn't ideal. But this guy's pretty cool. He's a free +1. I like him. Actually, theoretically, even a +2 in some scenarios. You'll see the spell later on. All right, into the Link monsters here. We start with G-Golem Crystal Heart. This is the Crystal Heart, just like the Marine Says Crystal Heart, except this one's actually really good. The Marine Says one is not that good, other than facilitating towers. So it's a water Cybers, 0 attack, but it points left and down. I love that it doesn't point up because this is probably going to be in the extra monster zone. First effect is a hard one's per turn. You can target one Earth Link monster in your graveyard. Just special summon it to a zone this card points to. And if you do, place a G-Golem counter on this card. Also, an Earth monster co-linked to this card gains 600 attack for each Golem counter on this card. It can make a second attack during each battle phase. Also, if it attacks a defense or some monster, inflict piercing battle damage. So a lot of stuff that this card helps with. It buffs whatever it's pointing to. It gives it piercing and a double attack. Pretty strong. And it's just a reborn for any Earth Link monster. So it could be a Link 4 Earth Link monster and just bring it back for free. A really, really awesome card for the deck. And also I love that it takes any 2 Cybers monsters. It isn't even like Earth locked or G-Golem locked at all. Very cool. From here we move to G-Golem Stubborn Menhir. This is an Earth Cybers Link effect monster, Link 2. 1500 attack. This one actually has a stat. It points up and down. It takes any 2 Earth monsters, so still generic but in a different way. If this card is special summoned from the graveyard, you can target one Earth monster in your graveyard that can be normal summoned or set. Either add it to your hand or special summon it. But if you special summon it, its effects are negated and it's banished when it leaves the field. This card's pretty good in and of itself. I mean, I think about link climbing with this, right? Like you summon this, then you take this and another monster into Crystal Heart. Crystal Heart revives this, and then this triggers to either get you another add or summon from grave, right? So you're just getting like the ability to really, really link climb really easily. I love that both these don't have restrictions either. So they could come up as just like generically good link extenders in other decks, potentially, for sure. G-Golem Invalid Dolmen, Earth Cybers monster. Points up, left, and right, so it has no down arrows. It is Earth locked, so 2+ Earth monsters. Your co-link monsters are unaffected by monster effects activated on your opponent's field. Not a bad protection effect at all. Your opponent's monsters must attack this card if able. That's not bad at all, especially if you have like Crystal Heart on the field. It's only 0, so you do want to make that like protected, so this can do that. And once per turn, you can discard a Cybers monster to draw one card. That's just extra synergy with your Pebble Dog. Just discard Pebble Dog to draw, and then Pebble Dog searches you another G-Golem card, which could be another Pebble Dog, or a Rockhammer, or potentially the spell. Really good. And the last card, if this co-link card is destroyed, you can negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. This seems to be the only potential disruptive effect this deck offers, this archetype at least offers. So you could like just have any card that just can quick pop this on the opponent's turn to get this to trigger. Not bad. Pretty good. A bunch of bonus effects on this card, and it's pretty generic. And the last link is Golem Dignified Trilithon. This is another Earth Cybers 3200 link 4, up, left, right, and down. The plus sign arrows, 2+ Earth monsters again, and the third effect's on once per turn. Your opponent's monsters must attack this card if able. Not bad, 3200 protecting everything else. Once per battle, if this card battles an opponent's monster, during damage calculation, you can send an Earth monster from your hand to the graveyard, and until the end of this turn, that opponent's monster loses 200 attack, and its effects are negated. I don't expect that effect to come up too much, but, you know, if something floats or something, I think you might be able to attack into them, and that might negate some effects from floating. I honestly don't know. It's a weird effect. It really is, like, weird. You don't see a lot of effects like this, but okay. And last effect, when your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a link monster or monsters you control, quick effect, negate that and destroy it. Not bad. I wish this was just a negate or even just a monster negate. I really feel like the biggest thing missing from this archetype is like there's legit no interruption. You have some sticky monsters and you can set up some weird co-links and stuff, but this archetype itself has literally no interruption. So maybe you have to rely on making Trigate wizard boards or using the Code Talker cards like Microcoder to search conflict or something. Maybe you go into Firewall Dragon lines and co-link him to try and set up interruption. But this archetype in and of itself doesn't have anything. But it does have a lot of extendability. The last card here is Gravity Bounce, normal spell. This card's always treated as a Golem card. You can only use both of its effects once per turn. Target 2 of your Earth monsters with the same name that are banished and or in your graveyard, so ideally 2 Pebble Dog. Special summon them both in defense position, but change their attack and defense to 0. Their effects are negated. Also destroy them during the end phase. So it's just 2 bodies on the field. Everything's negated. Everything's hindered there, but that's fine as long as you can get set up for this. Reborning 2 Pebble Dogs is pretty good. And the last effect, this is just Balinks. If a Golem monster or monsters would be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, banish this card from your graveyard instead. Just a nice little Balinks effect on top of that. It's pretty good. This card's probably a 1 over a 2 of to potentially search off of the dog, but I don't know how consistently you're getting set up for it if you're not going through Pebble Dog in the first place. So just keep that in mind. So that's it for all the new Animation Chronicle stuff. As far as the weird Dino machine cards and the face card cards, they're like pretty poop to me. I do think Golem is interesting though. I wonder if there's going to be generic applications to some of these cards like Crystal Heart in like other Cybers decks, but definitely cool to see. Hopefully we'll get more cards down the line with that. But let's jump into this. Finishing up here, we have a couple of Power of the Elements cards, more Albaz lore stuff. We have a new Ice Jade card and another, I think, branded card. The Ice Jade card is a level 7 Water Aqua Tuner effect monster. It's Ice Jade Creation Agiro Cassis. 2000 on the stats. First and third effects are once per turn and only once that turn, so you cannot do both in the same turn. Quick effect, if this card is in the hand or the grave, you can target an Ice Jade monster you control, equip this card to it. Okay, quick equip. Second effect, the monster the monster this card is equipped to gains 400 attack and defense for every banished monster. Okay, that could actually get somewhat big, especially depending on the matchup you're in. And the third effect, if the card, if this card is treated as an equip, you can special summon this card. Oh, so the idea is that like with this restriction, you can't equip it and summon it in the same turn. Pretty bummer. I think that makes this card like garbage actually. I think without this card being able to summon itself in the same turn, it's pretty garbage. All right, moving on here, we have Branded Central Dogmatica. So this is a branded card and a Dogmatica card. It's a continuous spell. You can only use both of its effects once per turn. If you special summon exactly one ritual monster with the effect of a spell card, you can look at either extra deck and send one monster from there to the graveyard. Wow, okay, just extra deck ripping if we can get ritual summons off. Second effect, if you special summon exactly one fusion monster with the same or with the effect of a spell card, you can target that monster until the end of the turn. That monster gains attack equal to its original attack, but it cannot attack except to attack position monsters your opponent controls. Very weird. That first effect is definitely stronger. I mean, the second effect could be clutch to like get weird OTKs going, but for the most part, I think that first effect is really going to be the better one, but it's only once per turn. A lot of decks play 2 copies or like don't lose if one card gets ripped out of their extra. That's why Ghost Reaper hasn't been great for a while. People have talked about that it's like decent right now, but you know, I'm not sure yet. I mean, I know people have been like ripping DPE with it, but that's only good if it's unexpected. As soon as players start consistently playing double DPE, like you're just screwed, I think. So I don't know. This card's weird, but I guess it could have some applications. I don't think it's consistent enough, though, to really work. But all in all, pretty cool stuff. Pretty underwhelming from the Ice Jade. Not surprised with the underwhelming Ice Jade. And branded stuff, underwhelming, but they don't need anything else good, to be honest. Really, it's just the Golem stuff that I think is that interesting. We'll have to see. We'll see if they get more stuff. We'll see if they're ballsy enough to release Armatos Legio as well. I'm really hoping somewhere we get it soon, but yeah, we'll obviously see. But that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below on the new cards. Anything here, let me know what you're thinking. Any other applications, where you might want to splash it. Let me know, especially Golem. But I'll see you in the next episode, the next video. I'll see you. Peace.